Yes, well, back with you. Hello again, Jim Burns. What we got going on here today is a Williams scale brass Hudson. Now, this is a beautiful locomotive, I must say, but she has some issues. First one being she doesn't run. So we're going to have to pull her apart, take a look inside, see what's not making her tick. Yeah, so we're going to look at that later. But I thought I'd give a little bit of an overview of the locomotive itself. I couldn't find very much information on the guts inside this beast, so I thought we'd learn together how to take it apart and fix it, put it back together, hopefully in running condition. If not, she'll become a shelf queen. But we have some nice classification lights up there, side jewels as well as front. Of course, our headlight, I think it's an LED in there. We'll check. It could be a grain of wheat, but we'll see. Got a number board with no numbers. We could remedy that if we want to. Our smoke box, which doesn't latch very tightly, we can tighten that latch up, fix that. That opens up to reveal an empty smoke box. I don't see a smoke unit in there. I don't see any provisions for one. Perhaps there was one, or some versions of this that did have one. Maybe we can add one. But that's down the road. We've got to get this puppy running first. So the other issue here is this scale coupler, as opposed to the post-war style couplers online. It just flops around. Something's broken. There's a piece that's supposed to hold it in place in an upward position, but can't get it. So we'll investigate that. All right. And just so you can see here, let me just move it back a little bit and expose our 2026 there. I mean, come on. Look at the difference. I mean, it's a comparable size locomotive in real life. It's the post-war 2026 is a 264. Our Hudson here now is a 464. So in real life, they'd be almost the same size, but one being a 1/4 inch scale, 1/48. Good Lord, there's a difference. But yeah, that's beautiful. It's heavy. It's a heavy beast. I'm so afraid to drop this thing. But anyway, yeah, you can see there's quite a difference in the size of those two. Let's see if I can get more light on the subject. Maybe that'll help. Maybe not. But anyway, yeah, that's nice. I like this thing. But let's get our trucks back up on the rails here. All right, there we go. So I'll give you a side shot here of the drivers and rods, all the whatnot there. Goodness gracious. Like I say, this is the 5405, and it's got beautiful drivers, embossed rods on it, beautiful lead trucks there. The rear set of the rear trucks are spoked wheels. I'll show you that when it's on when we start taking her apart. But beautiful handrails and stanchions all along its length there. They're a little bent, and I think somebody's been manhandling this a bit. I know somebody else worked on this in its previous history and could not get it to work, but so I got it at a great price, and I think we'll be able to get her running. There's the tender, that's brass. 6-wheel trucks on that. Can show you here if I zoom in on that section. There's a 4-finger tether on the tender here. If I can keep the camera steady, that's right there. And then there's a female sticking out the back of the locomotive. See if I can get a shot of that. Yeah, there it is, right here. So that will connect to that, and I haven't powered it up or anything. I don't know what the deal is with that, but just look at this. There's beautiful piping on there. Nice air tanks. Those drive wheels are magnificent, I must say. There's our cylinders. There's our compressors. They're air compressors. They're hidden. There's two, one on each side, but they're hidden behind these shrouds on the front. And but if we look in there closely, they look pretty filthy in there. So we're gonna have to clean this thing. It's covered with dust and dirt. So, but beautiful set of steps on the sides here. That's beautiful. What do we got going on up here? Let's see. Let's take an aerial shot here. All right. Smokestack, of course, our bell, inspection panel there. There's our safeties, our whistle, dynamo. There's some roof detail. Those don't open, they're cast in, but that's fine. But you can see these railings are a little wonky in places, but we'll figure it all out. I know there's a couple loose stanchions. I already felt those when I was unpacking it. Ah, they're loose. I don't know if we're missing a nut on the other end or if they were soldered in place. I'm not sure, but we'll find out. Okay, so that's that part. Let's see, let's zoom back out here. Our tender, some nice detail on that. Yeah, nice handrails separately applied. There's our drawbar. The tender itself is empty. Gotta get her a little closer here, get a better view of it. Some nice handrails and ladder. That's real nice. Just look at that tender compared to a post-war tender, and that's a big tender, yeah, for the post-war, the Lionel there. But compared to this beast, I'm still shocked. I can't stop smiling. I can't believe how big they are. Like I said, I've never seen one in person. Had no idea. But anyhow, that's about it for the overview. We're going to try and get this lady running here. See if we can get her fired up. Running on our rails. Now, because of its size, I can't run it on this outer loop because of that wall and other places. It's just too big to get past that wall. It'll just smash right into it. So the width is too much. So I'll always have to run it on the inside line. And these are all 054 on both. So, and I don't know what the minimum radius was for this locomotive, but I'm sure 054 will handle it. So, or it will handle 054. So we'll move on from here. Turn her upside down, see what's on the bottom. All right. I'll be back. Okay, now we got her on her side here. You can see our cow catcher there. There's our compressor, one of them, up under there. Got our front trucks. There's the mounting screw for that. Let's take a look here underneath. Yep, there's a spring under there. So that's good to know. There it is. Okay, so we'll get that disconnected. There's a pickup roller. Okay, here's our rear truck mounting screw, and again it's got a spring there. So we'll get that out of our way. There's the spoked wheels from the underside. Look really nice. Alright, there's our drawbar post there. There's that tether again. Looking inside the cab there, there's not much to talk about. I mean, it's nice. You know, sparsely detailed, I would say. Let me get that out of the way so we can see. Yeah, sparse. But it could be fancied up if you wanted to. There's a nice shot down the side. There's the can motor in there. A big puppy there. That's at least a couple inches. See if I can steady the camera here. Yeah. There she is. Got some brass showing through there. No paint on the inner surface of the boiler, I guess. That's alright. I see a shaft there. Looks like a splined coupling. But we'll have to investigate that. I don't see anything connected to it. And what I noticed right off the bat is our gearbox here. That's not supposed to move around. So, however they have this connected to the motor, it's not. It's just flopping around. So that's no good. It's probably what's keeping it from running, but we'll investigate further when we take her apart. Okay. Well, that's good to know. At least we've got some information to go look at when we get her apart, if we can figure that out. Looks like there's 2 screws in the back here under the cab. Looks like that goes into the chassis, frame actually, and so that should loosen up the back anyway. We'll have to find the front mounting screw. I don't think that's it. It might be one of these 3 under the front trucks. I'm gonna guess it's probably the center one that goes up through and goes into the boiler. That's just a guess. I don't know. We'll see. All right. So then over here, here's our tender. Not much to see under there, but a bunch of wheels. Looks like that does not look like a speaker in there. It looks like a bunch of electronics. There must be something in there. We'll take that apart, see what's in there. But other than a good cleaning, she looks nice. No pickup rollers on the tender. Alright, so we'll start taking this puppy apart, see what's in there, or how to take it apart. Alright, be back with you. Okay, now I think what we need to do to start our project here is remove this front truck. Get our clamping screwdriver here. Put that in there nice and tight. Oh, I missed. And remember, this has a spring under it, so once that screw comes loose, we'll see how powerful that spring is. Okay, not too bad. We didn't lose anything. Alright, I saw the spring go into our drive wheel there. Again here, what we got here, looks like a nice shoulder screw there. That's for our front truck. Alright, I'll set that aside. Let me okay, let me grab this spring here. So there's the spring for the front truck. Alright, put that aside. So that exposes those 3 screws. And like I said earlier, I'm just going to guess at this. Let's take this center screw out. I think I felt the boiler move, so this might be the right one. Let's see. Yeah. If it's a long one, we're good. Yeah, that's a long screw. So, I'm imagining that's to hold the boiler on. I'm imagining that's to hold the boiler on, so we'll see. I felt the boiler move. Let me check here. Oh yeah, there she goes. She's lifting. Okay, it looks like the you can see it's lifting off of there. And it looks like the only thing left holding it is our 2 screws in the back here. Get our tender out of the way. For now, we'll take that apart later. Alright, there's our, what do we need here? We need a Phillips head on this one. So, let me grab that. Okay. That's just a little magnet there. Just so don't lose it if I decide to drop another one. Alright, there's that one. Just a small Phillips head machine screw. Alright, and a lock washer. Let's get this one off. Oh, that one's pretty loose. Somebody, like I said, I know somebody's been in here. It was worked on in the past, according to the fellow I bought this from, so I felt the whole locomotive shift when I pulled that one out. Another lock washer. Alright. So, let's flip her on her wheels here. Alright, let's see. Oh, bare wires in there. Oh, I see. There's some electrical tape. It must have been on there, but dried up. Electrical tape down into the frame there. Alright, so let me get that. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, get that electrical tape out of there. Oh yeah, that's just old, dried up. Alright, well, anyway, here's what we have. We got a cattywampus gearbox there, for sure. There's the motor. Not much else in here, except that. Bring you a sky view here. Alright. You see the brass showing through there. There's the steps, and there's our compressors up front. There's our cylinders. Couple of screws there. Are they the same? They don't quite look the same. Somebody's changed those around. I don't know, we'll see. I'll check them out. There's our axles, pickup roller, boiler support right here. Yikes, there's the gearbox. Okay, it's got that same splined shaft. Let's see if I can zoom in on that. Yeah, it's got a splined shaft, but so that means we're missing a drive shaft here. I don't know if it was rigid or flexible or universal joints. I don't know. Some tiny Allen screws there. There's the back of the motor, of course, just waiting to run again. Oh man, there's some messy soldering going on here. That don't look factory to me. It could be, I guess, but I don't think so. But you never know. I've never had one of these, so I shouldn't speak of such things. But I know this can't be right. This is, I imagine they would use more than just electrical tape that dries up. That vinyl stuff, you know, with small pieces like that, they don't stick that long. So we'll put some wire nuts on there. Okay, these two white wires. All right, that's going to our LED at the front of the locomotive. Yeah, so they're just connected, looks like, to this black wire right here, which is right there on top of the motor. And then the other one goes to another black wire, but not seeing a tracer on it or anything. That goes back to the tether. See there? So that's got to go into the tender for some kind of control mechanism, I'm sure. But it's also got two red wires. Okay, those are for the pickups. They both go down to the pickup. And let's see, what do we got here? Oh, okay. We're gonna... Oh, there you go. That's how it should be. But it needs a drive shaft. Not a very long one. But I can tell already this motor is not in line. You can see it's mounted on a shelf there, but it looks like it's down in the back. Two screws holding the shelf on, two screws on the bracket that hold the motor. But if you look here, if I'm holding the gearbox straight, that's quite a difference in that. So if we can get this bracket bent back up to where it should be, there we go. That looks better. But we'll have to pull the motor off to get to that. Yeah, it just wants to keep popping back down. That's probably what maybe broke it in the first place. It's so off on their alignment. I don't know whose fault that is, but there you have it. Okay, so that's good to know. We need to figure out a drive for that. But looking back towards the front here, I'm noticing something I don't like. I'll show you what I mean. If we turn this way. This, I don't know about you, but I think that's a busted mount on there. Let's look at it from the bottom. Oh yeah, it looks like that was either part of the frame at one time, and then all of these pieces, our cylinders and our cow catcher and air compressor, all this would have attached to this as it stuck out, but I don't know, that looks like it's either broken. Well, there you have that. Yeah, I think that was, that's, there's some clues right there. That's nice brass color right here on either side of that. But this actually looks like a failed solder joint. And if you look on the frame, you can see what looks to be solder there on either side of the frame. Yeah, this puppy took a hitter. That's what happened there. Yeah, just that bubbly paint. You know, that's not a bubble. It's actually painted over a bad solder job. That's a mess right there. So, well, at least it's all there. If we get our piston rod back into the cylinders there we go. Work that back into place. I could either drill through the side frame there and pin it with a couple of machine screws. Or I could clean this joint up and braze it back together. Now that would entail cleaning off all the paint and grinding off all the old solder, and I'll have to decide which way to go. Well, isn't that a shame? Well, that's all right. Still worth the money that I paid. Don't ask. I'm not going to tell. But anyway, let's come back over here. We'll take our rear truck off here. Like I say, it's got the spring there too, so we'll work that out. We'll set these aside in a safe place, and then I'll forget where I put them in a couple days and hunt for another couple days. Alright, so that's got a little hook mechanism, you can see, on the truck itself. If I could keep this camera still. There we go. Alright, so there's a hook and there's a bar across the truck there. That just slides there, and then you put the screw in. Alright, slide it in, screw it in place. Boy, even that truck is heavy. Beautiful though. Looking good, looking good. Yeah. So far I'm still happy, even though we found some problems. I knew I would. Alright, there's our other shoulder screw right there. If you could see that. So we'll put that over here. Alright, once again our drive wheel captured our spring for us. Didn't let it fly around. That's good news. We'll put that away. Alright. Well, we're making progress. Making progress. But, yeah, I think here's another problem we have discovered already. Remember I said that coupler wouldn't stay. So something's busted there. That's nice shiny brass there. That's probably not supposed to be nice and sharp. There's probably, I don't know where the rest of it is, but it probably was a pressure fit against this. What is that? I can't even tell. Plastic? Or just is that paint? I'm not sure. I'll have to investigate that further, but I'll bet that's because now the coupler is in its upright position, and this, I'm sure, had some more material to it that would clip over this, or yeah, I can feel a little bit of a ridge, but I'm not sure. Which again tells me this thing took a header, nose dived into something, onto something. Oh man. Okay, now the coupler's down in its pocket in the cow catcher here. So, and then this, I'm sure, stuck out a little bit more. I don't know if I can get a replacement or if I can fashion something. Actually, as long as it stays there. Or maybe I could replace it with a post-war coupler and double head this puppy at some point. You never know. But that's not important right now. So leave that alone. But yeah, this needs to be remedied here. And in order to do that, we'll have to, let's see. Well, let's see what happens if we pull these two screws out of the looks like the cylinder bracket here. Whoa, that one was tight. Yeah, it's just too shallow. It won't grab correctly. But that's all right. It still looks like just a machine screw here. All right, that's one. All right, there's another. All right, now what loosens up when I took that off? Oh, all right, that's our cylinders right there. But because of that solder joint that's right there, it won't let it slide off. Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay. This piece actually falls off, so. All right, good. And then what we're left with is, gotta remember to put those screws back in those cylinders. So what we're left with is this part. A little bit of oil on there. We'll have to clean that all up. There's a better look at our compressors. So that looks nice. And what else? Let's see here. Looks like we could take this down a little further. This screw right here holds the steps. This one holds the opposite steps. These two hold the cow catcher on to this plate here. And those are Phillips right there. So let us remove these two. I see it got some lock washers there on these machine screws. Good to know. All right. I'm going to put these two over here with our cylinders. That's where that goes. All right, now what did we do? Okay, good. So we can leave that assembly like that. Our cow catcher and floppy coupler. But there's our compressors again. Okay, pretty simple so far, everybody. Looking good. And that's the underside of that, what used to be attached to here. I'm sure that was one piece at one time. That had to be. Somebody tried to solder it back on, but I think what I would like to do once the rods are out of the way is drill down vertically. I'll put her in the drill press. Drill down some clearance holes through the frame, 2 of them, on either side there. Up through this piece, down through this piece, into here. And then we'll thread some, what will we thread in there? Well, we'll find something. There's lots of clearance on the frame here, so we could probably use some cap head screws, machine screws. I could even use some Uh, well, 256 would probably do it. Yeah, if I get them long enough. I think I have something in my supply to reach down into the meat of this plate here. Okay, so before we wrap this episode up, I wanted to show you. I wedged a piece of wood underneath the motor here just to straighten that bracket out just a tiny bit and get that better in line with the gearbox. So if we get it up where it's supposed to be, get it in line. But anyhow, I took my measuring tool here and what I'm getting between these two these will slide up and down on the shaft, so there's room for adjustment. So this one's actually even loose, so it'll move around. But I'm getting 3/4 of an inch as a measurement. Okay. And then what I'm going to try and use here is we measure our spline what do we got there? 0.165. Change that to fraction, 11/64. So what I'm going to use is a piece of brass, since this is a brass locomotive. And this is 7/32 brass tube. And it will go right up to the spline, as you can see. So it'll fit right over the edge of that fitting, and then the splines stop it. So if we use a press, and we'll cut this to 3/4 of an inch, like our caliper said, and then we can press it onto this one, and press it onto this one, and reinstall it. And then we can test this locomotive before we go any further on taking her apart or looking at other parts of it. See if it will even run. If the motor's no good, we'll have to replace that. So we'll get this done first. We'll get this coupled together, and we'll see if we can get it to turn a shaft or two, huh? All right. Okay, that's going to be the end of this episode, and we'll come back when I have more progress. All right. Toodles.